Come join the Geek Drums Nation. What is up, everybody? Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we will be talking about The Flash Season 9, Episode 11, entitled A New World Blues. Now, this episode it wasn't as good as last week's episode. I can say that. But by this being an episode that primarily focused on Team Flash's perspective during Barry's whole, time away, time missing, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad by a long shot. Let me say that. I give this episode a 8 out of 10. This episode wasn't bad by a long shot. It was just some, liberties taken, some character decisions that were made that didn't really make sense to me, But we'll talk about all that. We'll jump into all of that. This will not be a long video at all. But guys, if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that alert bell, so you never miss another one of my videos. And yes, this video will have heavy spoilers in it. So if you have not watched the episode, go do so and then come back. You won't regret it. But this episode basically started out in the future. We're in the future. We're with Malcolm Gilmore. And let's talk about all the Malcolm / Eddie / Cobalt Blue scenes. Let's just talk about those right up front, because that was literally the best part of the episode. I thoroughly enjoyed seeing Rick Cosnett back. He's killing this role, and he's doing what he does. Rick Cosnett is an amazing actor, and I'm just glad to have him back for the little time that we do. Now, we see him showing up in CCPD in the future. Captain Korber, yes, the one detective that you see every season since, I don't even know when she actually showed up, but apparently she was a rookie when Eddie was on the force back in 2014. So I'm glad to see she stuck through there and she rose up through the ranks to become captain in 2049. Now, Eddie walks into CCPD. Of course, everybody is shocked because, hey, you look like a guy that died years ago. So what are you doing here now? So he talks to Korber. She's trying to, he pulls out his ID. His name materializes on it before he hands it to her. He's shocked by that. He's trying to figure out what's going on. So then we jump further in the episode. He's walking through the streets. He hears somebody in his head talking to him. He telling him to do something. He's walking in the street. He's getting flashes of memory, and Rick Cosnett killed all of this. Like, he can play crazy really, really well. I remember seeing him on the Vampire Diaries as a villain. He could play evil, play crazy really, really well. I like that. He's walking through the streets. He walked past the club. He sees the door open. He gets a flash of Iris. So what's the next logical thing to do? He goes to CC Media. Taylor's there, an older Taylor, with gray streaks in the hair. She calls security, as you would do. She calls security. He tells her that I'm looking for Iris West. I need to see Iris West. Knocking over pictures, rummaging through the desk. He just wants some sort of answers. He believes that Iris can give him those answers. He does not find it, but he does knock over a picture of Iris and Joe, and that triggers more memories. So he runs out of there. Even after security shows up, he tears away. What's the next logical place to go? Goes to dig up Eddie Thawne's grave. Now, my understanding is, I think that they fabricated the whole, everything surrounding Eddie's death, because I don't remember them actually burying Eddie. I don't remember them grabbing a fake body or anything to put in the ground. So I wonder what they told the cops, everything like that. Maybe they just told him that he committed suicide. I don't know. But we see Eddie getting more flashes of memory. Korber shows up with a staple gun looking futuristic, pistol, I guess, from the future. Tells her, you can't be Eddie Thawne. He died, yada, yada, yada. He says, I have to find out myself. I have to see his corpse. Opens the casket. Nobody's in there. Boom. Memory fully back. He even pulls the bullet out of his chest. This man has been walking around with a bullet in his chest for all that time. I laughed at that, but hey, it's just good to have him back. This is a storyline that has been heavily rumored, and theories have been out about this for years now, and it's playing out the exact way that many, many YouTubers and Flash fans alike have theorized. I can't wait to see where they go with this particular side of the story. From the preview that we get for next week, is playing out that, he's mad that Barry is living the life that he lived, and he was forgotten. He was technically the one to stop Thawne in season 1, so I can get where he will be a little upset. I just hope they don't tarnish Eddie's legacy as a hero by completely villainizing him. But Eric Wallace likes to redeem people. Maybe he will be redeemed and they just defeat the, the cobalt force, the negative speed force, whatever it is that's possessing him. It might be a combination of both. Maybe they just defeat that entity and Eddie goes back to just being dead. He dies a hero again. Who knows? But we do pick up in Star Labs with Iris, and she's telling them that Barry's been missing for 6 hours. They know it's a cobalt. It's a cobalt energy signature. I can't remember what they called it offhand. It was a lot of science jargon. But who walks in? Mark walks in. Right off bat, I'm like, this Mark is a little bit too overly positive, overly eager to help. But they let it slide. Iris goes to CC Media with Allegra. They're looking at things there. She pulls up the old article. Allegra goes to get her some tea after reassuring her that everything will be all right. Let me be there for you. Allegra sees somebody that she knows. Of course, now we know that it was Mark, but Mark or this hidden figure knocks Allegra back into a pole, releases some gas that knocks everybody out. Mark and Khione show up. Khione injects plant life into their body to help their lungs breathe, turns Taylor and the other guy green. They wake up, freak out. I would freak out too if I looked at myself and I'm green and it's painful for me to breathe. Khione doesn't understand why, but Khione doesn't understand a lot of things. She's only a few months old at this point. So I get her confusion. She was just trying to help. Other people didn't understand it. Mark looks freaked out as well. Mark, or should we call him Chillbalt Blue, whatever you want to call him. He was freaked out. They get back. Well, they find Allegra knocked out. Of course, Allegra is knocked out for the rest of the episode because Kayla Compton was directing. So when you direct, you're barely in the episode. So they get back. Chester's obviously sad about his girlfriend being knocked out by this gas. It could have been the gas. It could have been the fact that she hit her head hard as I don't know what against that pole when she was blasted back. But yeah, Chillblaine basically, he was getting rid of everybody. He told Khione that she was a monster. She left. He went and told Chester that if it was him, if he could be there with Frost, seeing Allegra in there, reminding him of Frost, of love. Of course, Chester, being a lovesick puppy, he fell for the bait so that he can turn off the search parameters for the cobalt energy signature. Now that irritated me. Chester, you're supposed to be a genius. You're easily manipulated, and this has been going on for seasons now. You're very easily manipulated. That irritated me. That would have been, number one, not talking about Khione just ran off. Khione would never just run off. And Chester, you know that already. Maybe it's just me reading too much into it, but Cecile and Iris are in the time vault, just hiding out. He calls, say, yeah, I got you some big belly burger. As soon as Cecile walks out, knocks her out. Didn't really have a problem with that. I actually laughed when that happened. But then Iris goes out. Speed Force Nora shows up after Iris is threatened to be gutted like a fish, along with baby Nora, because it is the negative Speed Force controlling Chillblaine. Now, Speed Force Nora talks to Khione, tell Khione that she is a force. I believe, honestly, that she is the life force from the comics. It's a new force, and I believe this whole blue gem thing could be a culmination of the negative Speed Force and the Death Force. If they're going that route, I don't know. Don't quote me on anything. It's just my personal theories. But, all of that plays out. Khione decides to, the only way to get rid of the gem in Mark's body and to release Mark is do the Thanos snap. He disintegrates. I was shocked by that. I thought that was it for him. No, not really. I've seen set photos. But she snaps him away. Then she snaps him back. The gem disappears. Iris goes into labor at Star Labs, comes out. All of a sudden, Cecile's powers work for that. Don't get me started as to I don't know why they didn't work on Cobalt Mark, Chillbalt Blue. I don't know why they didn't work on him. I'll leave that alone. Yeah, I'll leave that alone. It's just another headache. I'll leave that alone. Iris comes out. She's going in labor. Then, boom, Barry appears from the point that we saw him disappear in last week's episode. They go to the hospital, have a touching moment there. Khione tells Mark that she needs to leave after Mark says he's going to go look for the gem that just had him possessed. That was a dumb decision to do alone, but then again, it is Mark. So she says she doesn't belong with Team Flash. She belongs out doing more to help. I get that. That makes me think that she's not going to survive the finale, and maybe we get Caitlin back. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. That's just my thoughts. But before any of that can happen, Barry gets blipped away again, and that's where we end the episode. Guys, I enjoyed this episode for what it was. I only had a few nitpicks. Please let me know down below what you thought about this episode. Like I said, I give this episode a 8 out of 10. It was another solid episode in this last chunk. This back half of the season is far better than the beginning half was, interludes included. So let me know down below what you think. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button. Please check out my Superman and Lois review, and make sure you tune in on Mondays because we will be covering this episode in depth, at Party Nation Live. We'll be covering it all the way through, and you're more than welcome to join us. I will check you guys later.